Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to add smart AI into your own project. We're going to be setting it up so the AI will attack your character and your character can damage the AI. So to start with, we're going to head to the project that we're going to add smart AI to. For me, I'm just using the Unreal Engine shooter template. Then we're going to head to our project settings, then collision, and in here we're going to add a new object channel. We're going to call this trigger. And we're going to leave this at block. Sorry, we're going to change this to ignore and hit accept. Then we're going to add a new trace channel. We're going to call this weapons and we're going to leave this as block. Then add another one and we're going to call this cover and leave that as block as well. Then hit accept. Then drop down to the presets. We're going to find the pawn, just double click that. And we're going to set this to ignore cover and ignore weapon. Hit accept. Then we're going to go down to character mesh and we're going to set this to ignore cover. Then we're going to open up invisible wall and we're going to set this to ignore cover and hit accept and do the same for invisible wall dynamic and ignore cover. Then we're going to create a new preset, so hit new. We're going to call this dead player and we're going to set collision enabled to collision enabled query and physics and object type to pawn. Then just tick ignore at the top here. And then for world static, set it to block and world dynamic set to block. Then hit accept. Next, we're going to go to our player character blueprint. So for me, that's going to be invariant shooter, blueprints, and then shooter character. You would go to your own player character. Then in the class defaults, we're going to search for tags. And under the actor category, we've got a tags option here. We're going to add a new tag and we're going to set it to AI. And we're going to add a second tag and we're going to set it to player. And this is what's used to tell our AI that it should acknowledge this blueprint and that it's a player. Then we can compile. Next, we're going to actually migrate our Smart AI project into this project. So I'm just going to go over to that now. And in here, I'm going to right click our main Smart AI folder, click migrate. Then in here, if you have control rig shows up, just untick that. And if you have Niagara as well, untick that. So we just have the game option. If those don't show up, you don't need to worry about doing that. Then just hit OK. Now I'm going to navigate to my project. So that's my project and then the content folder and then hit select folder. It might say that some files weren't copied. Don't worry about that. Now we can just tab back over to our project. And in here, you'll see we've got our Smart AI folder. Now we can actually test out our AI to see if it's reacting to our character. But before we do that, we need to check our level to make sure it has a Nav Mesh. To do that, just press P. And you can see we've got a Nav Mesh loading up here. This level includes one, but if yours doesn't, I'll show you how to add that. We can go to this drop down here and just search for Nav Mesh Bounds. And you can drag in a Nav Mesh Bounds volume, and I'll just put it here. You can see that currently it's only building a Nav Mesh within the box, so we need to scale this up so it covers our whole level. So I'm just going to scale this up and scale it outwards as well, and then scale it up. So we've got a Nav Mesh generated on the whole level. Next, we can test this out. So in the Smart AI folder, we're going to go to Blueprints, AI characters, examples, and then zombie. I'm just going to place a zombie down in the level. Then I'm going to hit play, and we're going to run over to our zombie, and he should detect us and start chasing us. So you can see he's detected us and he's chasing us. I run past him. You can see he tries to attack as well. And if I get close, and he attacks, you can see that our character is actually taking damage as well. Now that's because Smart AI and this template project use the engine's built-in damage events. So this character can damage the AI if I go and pick up a weapon. And I can shoot him, and you see he takes damage, and he can attack me and do damage to me. Now, if in your project you're using the engine's built-in damage events, but the AI isn't taking damage, it's probably because your apply damage node doesn't have a damage causer, and that's what's used to tell the AI who's damaging it and how they should react. So in this project, in the shooter variant folder, I'm just going to search for projectile and open up the base projectile. And in here, you can see we've got our apply damage node, and it has a damage causer plugged in. So the AI will take damage from this, but this is actually incorrect. So right now, the damage causer is being itself. So the AI is going to react to the bullet instead of the person that shot the bullet. So for this, we would actually change the damage causer to be the instigator. So I'm going to do get instigator. I'm going to untick context sensitive because there's a bug where it doesn't show up. So I'm just going to get instigator. There we go, get instigator. And I'm going to plug this into the damage causer. Now, when we shoot our AI, it will react to the character instead of reacting to the bullet. So we'll compile, and I'll test this now. So if I pick up a gun and we find our AI, he's actually already seen us. We want to shoot him before he sees us. So you can see now when I shoot him, he reacts to my player character and he's trying to get to me. So in your own project, if you're using these apply damage nodes, you need to have a damage causer, and that damage causer needs to be the player character that attacked the AI. How you do this is going to depend on your own project. For this, I can use the get instigator node because where we spawn the shooter projectile, which is in the weapon, so I just quickly search for weapon, and open up the shooter base weapon. We can find where we fire the bullet in this fire bullet projectile. You can see that the instigator is on this node that spawns a projectile is the pawn owner, and then the pawn owner is set on begin play in our weapon, and that's set to the owner. And then if we go to our shooter character in here where we spawn the weapon, you can see that the owner is set to self, so the character. So in our projectile, we can use the instigator, and that tells the AI when it takes damage that the damage causer was our player character. Now, if in your project you're not using the damage nodes that are built into the engine, you're going to have to modify the AI character to receive damage from your damage events, and quickly show you where you would do that. So in here, we go to the Smart AI project, Blueprints, AI characters, and then in the Master AI character, in here is where you would have your custom damage event. You would add that in here, and then you can call the AI take damage event, and in here you would connect up your custom event to run this node. You'd plug in the damage you want it to take, the damage causer. So again, this would need to be whoever dealt damage to the AI. So your event would need to provide that information, and you would plug that into damage causer. The other pins you can leave disconnected. The only ones that you need to worry about is the damage and that damage causer pin. So that pretty much covers dealing damage and taking damage on the AI, but we also need to set up our character so that our AI knows when our character dies. So for that, I'm going to go back to my player character in here, and in our player character, we're going to go to class settings, then to implemented interfaces, and we're going to add the AI interface. Click that, and then compile. Then we're going to open the interfaces drop down here, and we're going to search for the AI, and we want is AI dead, or AI is dead ? And open that. Now the AI uses this function to check if our character is alive or dead. Now in this character that's included with this template, it has a current HP, so I'm just going to be using that, and all we're going to do is check is the current HP greater than is it less than or equal to 0? And if it is, then we can just plug that in, and when our health is less than or equal to 0, it will return that our player's dead. With your own character, you might already have, say, a health component. You'll have to get your health value from that health component and add that code in here to tell the AI whether your character's dead or not. So next we're going to go to our components, and we're going to add the player, and we want the player AI activator like that, and then just compile. So now our player character is almost set up. We just need to set up our code for detecting who our character last attacked. And this is used for if an AI is following our player character, it needs to know what our character's attacking so it can decide whether or not it should attack that as well. Now, this process is gonna depend on your own project, your own weapon system, and your character's setup. Um, I'm just gonna go through kind of the basic setup for the shooter template that I'm using here. So to start with, I'm just gonna create a new variable. I'm gonna call it attack target, like that. I'm gonna set its type to actor and set it to an actor object. Then in our interfaces, we need to find, I'll just search for attack, and we want the actor attack target. So we'll open that up, and we're just going to drag our variable in and connect that up to the output like that, and just compile. Now this next step is going to depend on your project. This project uses projectiles to damage things, so we're going to need to set our character's attack target from the projectile after it's hit something. So I'm going to go to our shooter projectile base, and in here we've got our apply damage. Now from our instigator, we know that this is a reference to our shooter character, so I can just drag out and cast to shooter. Just going to tick on context sensitive, and I'm going to do BP shooter character. From here, I can then just set attack target like that, and then we can get the actor that we're damaging. So the damage actor, we can just drag out from that and plug that into attack target. So now our shooter character will have a reference to the last thing that we hit with a projectile. So in your own projectile blueprint, you'll need to add the same code after your apply damage node, or if you're using custom damage nodes after that, and make sure that you're setting your attack target to whatever the projectile hit. So now we can do a quick test to make sure that our AI attack the same target that our player character is attacking. So for that, I'm just going to go to our level, I'm going to delete the zombie out, and I'm going to grab, we're going to go Smart AI, Blueprints, AI characters, examples, soldiers, and I'm going to get we'll get a melee soldier. Something to keep in mind with the soldiers is the melee soldier and range soldier won't attack the player by default. The aggressive versions will. So I'm just going to put a friendly one into the level, and we'll put a second one over here actually. I'm just going to rotate him to face this direction. I'm going to set him in the AI component, which set starting behavior to still. And then for our closer one here, I'm going to set his, we're going to search for default reactions, open that up. And in here, we're going to go site reaction, and we're going to set reaction response to follow. And the react tag, I'm going to change this to be player. So when this AI here sees our player character, he'll want to follow him. And I just rotated the mesh by accident. We'll rotate the whole actor. So when he sees our player, he'll start following him. And when our player attacks this second AI, he should go and attack him as well. There's a couple other things we need to change. So in the AI component, I'm just going to search for follow. And in here, we're going to make sure that attack, follow, attack target is ticked on, and we'll tick on attack, follow attackers. And this just means that if this is enabled, when our player attacks something, our follow AI will attack that same thing. And this one means if our player is attacked by someone, our follow AI will attack that thing that damaged our character. Lastly, we just need to search for defend, and we're going to clear the defend tags. And this is just used so that the AI defend each other, but we don't want the AI following our character to try and defend the AI we're attacking. So we're just going to clear those. And now we can test this out. So I'm just going to play. You see our character follows us. And if I pick up a gun and I shoot that other AI over there, our character goes and attacks him for us. So that's pretty much everything as far as getting Smart AI added to your project. There are a couple of side notes. In your projectile, you want to select your collision component, and in the collision settings here, you want to make sure that cover is set to ignore. Another thing that you may need to do is when setting the attack target, if you're just setting it to whatever the projectile hit, that's going to set the attack target maybe to like a wall or to buildings, things like that, things that you probably don't want your AI to try and attack. So it's a good idea to have some sort of filter as to what you're setting the attack target to. So in this projectile, in this template, you can see that it actually casts to the character, and we're using that to set our attack target. So it's just filtering out things like walls and buildings and only setting the attack target to the character. You might want to do something similar. You can use things like tags, interfaces, or you can just cast to a character like it's doing in here. Another thing to check in your player character blueprint, in the components, you're going to want to make sure that anything with collision is set to ignore the cover channel. So if I scroll down, you can see for our capsule, it's set to ignore because we set up our collision presets, and the same for the meshes as well. They're set to ignore automatically. But if you have any extra meshes in your character, like a weapon or equipment, you're going to want to go through those and make sure that cover is set to ignore. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below.